All right, guys. That was, you guys seen the Passion and Cross. We watch it every year. But that was the scene, the beginning of Jesus in the garden. This was a very, very hard time for Jesus. Okay, it was probably one of the most excruciating times for Jesus beside the cross. We'll talk about why it was. And so it really didn't go all the way into it, like going to the scene where it showed him falling down and where it showed him praying and it looked like it was blood coming from his forehead and things like that. It didn't show all of that, but I just wanted to paint the picture for you, for your Savior. I know that's just an image. That's just a depiction, because it doesn't even grab or get the gravity of what happened in the garden. Okay? In Luke 22, it says this. It says, coming out, he went to the Mount of Olives, as he was accustomed, and his disciples also followed him. When he came to the place, he said to them, pray that you may not enter into temptation. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's throw away, and he knelt down and prayed, saying, Father, if it is your will, take this cup from me. Has anybody here asked the Lord to take this cup from me? Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. Then the angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him, and being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. Then his sweat became like drops of blood falling down to the ground. When he rose up from prayer and had came to his disciples, he found them sleeping from sorrow. Then he said to them, why do you sleep? Rise and pray, lest you enter into temptation. So let's talk about where he is. So in Luke, it doesn't say that the Garden of Gethsemane. It just says the Mount of Olives. But if you look at the other Gospels, the Matthew and the Mark, it says the location. It is Gethsemane. And it's the Garden of Gethsemane. And what that means is press. Like the wine press, like a place of press. Because the Mount of Olives is where they would go and get the olives and they would make wine and they would do. You don't like that place. You won't like that place. You don't want to drink the wine. You don't want to drink it. But it was a place where they would go and they would press it out. They would press the wine out. They would do that. Also known as the place of crushing. Okay? A place where you would be crushed. All right? The place of crushing. Like crushing the olives where you step on them with your bare feet. Can you imagine that? Like stinky feet, like Sam putting his stinky feet on the olives and smashing them. I would not drink that. But it was a place of crushing. And it says that Jesus was accustomed to doing this, so Jesus prayed. He was accustomed to going away and praying. Okay, so prayer is a part of our Savior's life. So, it was 2 months ago we talked about spending that time with the Lord. This was his time with his Father. He was accustomed to doing this. So he asked his disciples to go and pray. Okay, so God wouldn't ask us to do anything that he hasn't done. Jesus is not asking us to do anything that he hasn't done already. But let's talk about Jesus. Let's talk about his emotions. Can you imagine what he was going through at that time? This was right before he was going to go to the cross. This was right before that time. So he was getting himself prepared. Have you ever heard the stories of people on death row? You heard some of those stories? So I was researching some stories about people on death row. And let me tell you, I'm going to read one story that I found. Okay? This guy's name is Billy Moore. Okay? Billy Moore, that's his name. So he had been in jail for 16 years. He had been on death row the whole time. All of his appeals had ran out. No more court dates, no more postponements. So they probably been postponing this thing for years and years. And every time they postponed it, he was like, yes, I don't have to go and, go face the death penalty. But it says this, it said, the day had finally arrived when Billy was taken to death watch. So they take you on death row, they take you to, they call it the death watch cell, where they get you prepared, where they shave your head, where they ask you, what's your last meal? What would you like to eat? I want fried chicken, I want mashed potatoes, I want sweet potatoes, I want cornbread, I want okra, I want greens, mustard and collards, I want apple pie, ice cream. They ask you all of this and you are able to get your last wishes. What do you want to eat? They shave your head and they say, what do you want us to do with your body? We can bury you here at the jail cell, or we can ship you to your family, and then they can do with you what you want. And then he said, according to Billy, they said they gave him a list. He said, here's your execution warrant. Read it. That makes things final. After we kill you, what you want us to do with it, bury you here, blah, 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 blah. And then he said, this fear started flooding over my mind as I was walking to the death watch cell. He said, I got this manual about what happens to certain people when they're executed. How their eyes pop out of their head, and how their teeth shatter, and how their skin would catch on fire, and how they would defecate on themselves. How they would boo-boo on themselves. All of these things were going through my mind, and I was like, God, is this what's going to happen to me? When the currents hit, is it going to be immediate? Am I going to die immediately? Like, this is it? Or am I going to linger and be like, no, Mother, no, I'm not ready. No, he's not ready. But it said Billy tried his best to stay calm. He read his Bible, but the intense pain of what was to come distracted him from focusing on God. The smell of this area. You can smell the antiseptic, but you can also smell the burning of flesh. You can smell death in the air. The cool story, this is a cool ending for this brother. So the Lord spoke to him and came to him and he said, brother, you're not going to die this way. And so he was like, man, what's up? Boom, boom, boom. He's like, really, I'm not going to die this way? And so as they were getting ready to shave his head, the people came and they was like, what are you doing with him? Did you hear he got a pardon? So he's off. He spent like 3 more years in jail, but he got off. He didn't have to face the death penalty. He didn't have to go through that because the people forgave him. His parents, the people that he murdered, his family forgave him, and people was going around signing a petition. So he got out. That's a God thing. But that wasn't the case for Jesus Christ. It wasn't the case. Like, Jesus did just what Billy did. Lord, is this going to happen to me? Do I really have to die for Kevin Nickerson? Do I really have to die for Gigi? When I know they just going to burn book me? When I don't do what they ask, they just going to burn book me? They going to Instagram me. They going to tell all their friends about how horrible I am. They going to put it up on Facebook and be like, Jesus, and be like, cross me out. Do I really got to take this whooping for them? So can you imagine? Because it said he was in agony. He was distressed. Can you imagine Jesus Christ? Now this is very human of him. This is not a case where, it said that the angels came in and strengthened him and he got up and stuff like that, but it was more like, man, are you serious? God, like, Daddy, I'm perfect. I came here, I lived a sinless life. I didn't do nothing bad. I didn't slap no people. I didn't do nothing. I was just good. But I gotta die. And it wasn't the fact of dying, because everybody dies. Right? They say there's two things for certain, death and taxes. So you gotta die. But it was the way he did it, the way he died. And then it was the thought of his daddy not responding to him. I don't know if any of you in here have ever had the case where your father did not respond to you. Where you asked daddy for something and he said, he didn't even say no. CK, he didn't even respond. He like turned his back on you like. And I'm not saying, I don't want you guys to be like, yeah, God is bad, he's mean, he's ugly, he's like horrible God. How many of you know that God is in control? How many of you know if God would have came down, if he would have sent the legions of his angels to protect Jesus Christ, you and me wouldn't be here today. Or we would be here, but we would probably have fingers cut off, our eyes would be gouged out, we'd be limping around here, we'd be like busted up. But if the angels came down like they could, and if Jesus wouldn't have had the heart and the courage to go through it, and we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that next week. But I just want I want to set the stage for you, man. Like, this was not an easy thing for Jesus. This was not easy. So it was not easy. It wasn't as easy as walking through North High campus and like being smooth with your haircut and the nice Jordans, and you fly, you playing on the basketball team, and the honeys is liking you, and you got to sit in the class, and you just got to do the grades, and if somebody say, what's up, you be like, what's up? Jesus loved you. It wasn't that easy for Jesus, man. It wasn't that easy. And so Jesus has not asked you and me to do anything that he has not already done. Or that he's not willing to do. He paid the biggest price for you and for me. He said in verse 42, he said, Father, if it is your will, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, now here's the big thing now. Nevertheless, not my will be done, but your will be done. So let's talk about this. Just, you don't have to know God, you don't have to even trust Jesus. Just on the human level. Just a regular person, If you knew that you was on death row and your time was coming, would you be excited? Would you be like, heck yeah, man, I'm doing this, I'm going this on. They about to slap me, they about to hit me, they about to hang me up, they about to punch me in the face, they about to stab me. You would be like, how can I get out of this? You get your little spoon, you start like scraping the walls, and like, let me get out, how can I get out of here? 2 days. You be trying to get out of that thing, wouldn't you? Would you? Kiki, you try to get out of that thing, you be like, I hell, let me get it. Give me this knife. Give me this. I'm going to do something. I'm not going to do it. But on a human level, it's like, can you get with that? Can you feel that? Can you like, in your heart, can you feel that? Because I'm like, up here, I'm like shaking in my spirit is shaking. Because I'm like, if I was Jesus, I would have just ran. I would have been like, I would have looked at your face and I'm like, nope, he ugly, I'm running away. I'm done. It's not even happening. You're not even worth it. But he was like, nah, I love him. That's my boy. That's my baby. I want to cover him. I want to let him know that I love him. I'm going to protect him. I'm going to protect him. But he said, Father, if you're willing, so that tells me, he said, if it's your will, can you take this away from me? That tells me that Jesus didn't really want to do it. He didn't want to do it. How many of you guys really do what you like, don't want to do? See, a lot of you just do what you want to do. Mama said, come home at 12. Please, I'm coming in at 12:01 just because I want to do what I want to do. Teacher say, do your homework because you'll get an A. I'll do one page because I want to. So me, I'm going to do what I want to do. Coach say, run this way, then you'll run faster. Nah, I've been trained to do it this way, and this is what, Carl Lewis does, or Michael Johnson runs this way, or Usain Bolt runs this way, so I'm going to run like him. I'm going to do it my way. But Jesus didn't do what he wanted to do. He did what he had to do. And he did what his Father called him to do. And so as young people, we can't always do what we want to do. Did you hear what I just said? You can't always do what you want to do. Because smoking a blunt might make you feel good at the party. But you say you're walking with the Lord. You can't always do what you want to do. Having sex with your boyfriend or your girlfriend because she said she loved you. But you a man of God or you a woman of God. You can't do what you want to do. Well, because I'm a little hefty, or my mom don't have all the money, or my dad don't have all the money, I'm worthless. I don't feel like anything, so let me cut myself or let me take my own life. You can't do what you want to do because God said you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and he said, I created you. I've known you since it was in your mother's womb. He said, you are mine. He said, you belong to me, so you can't do what you want to do. You can't do what you want to do all the time. Sometime, maybe. But Jesus, you see, he didn't want to do this. He said, can you take this cup from me? Can you take this suffering away from me? Because that's what he meant when he said, take this cup away from me. Take this responsibility away from me. He said, nevertheless, Daddy, nevertheless, Pop, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. What I know about some of us, what I know about myself, is that sometimes I pray. And I ask God, I've been asking God for $1 million for the last 100 years.
Right. Right.
And ain't nothing shook down yet.
Right.
And I'm like, hey. And I've been serving you, I've been loving you, I've been like tithing, I've been like giving above and beyond, and like, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Some of you guys have been praying and asking God to restore your family. You've been praying and asking God to heal you or something, or God, please take that girl out right now. Please just like hit her in the face or something. Okay, so we was talking about Burn Book last week. Guess what movie came on the next day? Mean Girls. And I was like, I watched it because I wanted to see like what this Burn Book was about. And it was so scandalous, like how the girls, they were depicting like how the girls was like talking, and then the girls was walking and they got hit by the bus. I'm like, y'all really think like that? Like y'all want somebody to get hit by the bus? Some of y'all do. I know I do sometimes, I ain't gonna even lie. Hit that brother with that bus right there. Amen. I don't. Forgive me, Father. I'm an example. I don't want to be a bad example. But I'm the worst sinner of all of these people in here right now. That's why I ain't got the $1 million. I'm the worst sinner. Man, that's messed up. God, please don't hear his prayer. But sometimes we just pray, we ask God for different things, and it's like, why aren't you answering me? What you doing? Like, you don't hear me talking to you? Like I'm doing all the right things. I'm saying all the right things. But you don't say nothing. And how many of us get discouraged when that happens? Tell the truth. Because it's about what you want. And not what about God wants. And so I want us to start changing our perspective on your will or my will versus God's will for our life. You see, Jesus' purpose was to come, live a perfect life, show us how it's done, go to the cross, get whooped up, get hung up, buried, and like a boss raise up on the third day and be like, what's up, dude? I'm here. Woo! Sin is conquered. Death has no power. Death, where's your sting? You suck. I'm the man. God, you're awesome. Let's do this. That was his purpose. That was God's will for his life. Have you ever thought about what God's will is for your life? Seeker, I see you shaking your head. You need to think about what God's will is for your life. Because if you start asking God what it is that he wants for you, then you're going to be able to, when the Lord don't take the cup from you, you're going to still be able to punch through it, even though it's hard, even though it's ugly, even though it hurts. You see, that's what we need us to be. These are the type of young people that we want you to be. We want you to be young people that when it gets tough, when God is doing the work in your life, that you trust him, that you hold on. You know one of the reasons why I think Jesus stood there and stayed there and was like, when they came, because in the movie it showed like when they was coming, it was powerful, it was like shaking me. I mean, every time I watch it, I was like, man, I just get shook up. But it was a part where he stepped on the snake's face and then he saw the people coming and he walked straight to him like, it's my time, Jesus. Up. And then Peter was like, man, chill. Now I can call the homies right now and then we shake. We good. But nah, hold on, brother. Hold on. Back up. But we want young people that say, not my will. Not what I want to do, Don. Not what I want to do. But what you want me to do. Is it going to be easy? Is it easy to like walk with the Lord? Honestly, is it easy? Has it been like the easiest? Like, if you accepted Jesus Christ, if you met Jesus and you like, has it been easy? No. Have all your problems went away? No. You got, man, you know he don't be just dropping down millions of dollars from the sky, because if that was the case, then I would have had it. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. And as it presses in on you, do you like squirm and try to get out of it? No, I want you to. I want you to be like, not my will, but your will, Father. Woo! Because I trust you and I believe that you're going to do it. I believe you're going to do what you said you're going to do. Tina, I believe, I want you to know that. I want you to know that. I want you to know that God's going to do what he said he's going to do in your life. Not your will, but his will be done. He's going to make you one of the best skaters in California, man. Across the world. If you don't stop busting your ankles up a little bit. Get some high top shoes or something. So my question is to you tonight. Are you doing your will? Is it about you? Is it about what you want to do? Or is it about God's will? And if I could take a poll and I could just we could do some anonymous hand raising, probably 75% of us would be like, man, I've been doing my own will for a long time. One of the gospels said, the flesh is willing, but the spirit is weak, right? Yeah. Right? Is that what it said? The flesh is willing, but the spirit is weak? Right? And one of them. The flesh is weak? Yeah, okay, there you go. And the spirit is willing. So you know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I was saying. Y'all know what I was trying to say. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. And so, are you going to do your will, Sam? Or are you going to press to do God's will? Are you going to ask God? It was rhetorical, but that's okay. Thank you for answering me. You're engaged. I want you to think about that as we get ready for next week. As we get ready to celebrate and remember what the Lord did for us. I want you to ask yourself this question when you wake up in the morning. Am I going to do my will or am I going to do your will, God? Am I going to do my will or am I going to do your will, God? Is it going to be about me and what I want to do? Or is it going to be about you and what you have for me? Because I guarantee you, if you say, I want to do what God has for me, it won't necessarily be much easier, but it definitely will be better.